Welcome, book lovers. In today's video, we embark on an extraordinary journey into the timeless classic, The Richest Man in Babylon, penned by George S.Clason. This remarkable book holds valuable lessons on personal finance and wealth building that continue to resonate with readers today. So, without further ado, let's immerse ourselves in the wisdom of ancient Babylon. Set in the opulent city of Babylon, this tale revolves around the life of a young man named Akkad. Through a series of encounters with the richest man in the city, Akkad learns the secrets to financial success that have been passed down through generations. Number 1. Pay yourself first. One of the fundamental principles highlighted in The Richest Man in Babylon is the importance of paying yourself first. Akkad discovers that saving a portion of his income before spending it is crucial for building wealth. By committing to save at least 10% of his earnings, he sets himself on a path towards financial freedom. Akkad's journey begins as a simple chariot builder with dreams of financial prosperity. However, he quickly realizes that without a plan to save and invest, his dreams will remain distant. Through a chance encounter with a wealthy man named Algamish, Akkad learns about the power of paying himself first. Algamish advises Akkad to save at least 10% of his income before using the rest for expenses. This simple yet powerful concept becomes the cornerstone of Akkad's journey towards becoming the richest man in Babylon. As Akkad diligently saves and accumulates wealth, he starts to experience the benefits of paying himself first. His savings grow steadily, providing a safety net for emergencies and giving him the confidence to pursue additional opportunities for wealth creation. Number 2. Invest wisely. Akkad's journey takes an exciting turn as he learns the power of investing his savings. The rich man of Babylon teaches him that merely saving money is not enough. It must be put to work. Akkad discovers the magic of income-generating assets such as businesses or real estate that can multiply his wealth over time. Inspired by Algamish's wisdom, Akkad starts investing his savings. He learns that simply accumulating money in a jar won't make him rich. Instead, he explores various investment opportunities, carefully selecting those that offer the potential for significant returns. Akkad understands the importance of diversifying his investments and not putting all his eggs in one basket. By making wise investment choices and allowing his money to work for him, Akkad experiences the true power of wealth multiplication. Akkad begins by investing in a small business venture, partnering with a skilled craftsman to create and sell high-quality chariots. He also acquires a small piece of land and builds rental properties, which generate passive income through monthly rent payments. These investments start to yield returns, and Akkad witnesses his wealth grow exponentially. As Akkad gains confidence in his investment abilities, he expands his portfolio to include stocks, bonds, and other income-generating assets. He learns the importance of conducting thorough research and seeking advice from trusted financial experts. Through trial and error, Akkad hones his investment skills, ensuring that his money is always working for him, even while he sleeps. Number 3. Control your expenses. In The Richest Man in Babylon, a strong emphasis is placed on living within your means. Akkad realizes that controlling his expenses and avoiding unnecessary debts are key to achieving financial stability. By managing his money wisely and spending less than he earns, he gains control over his financial destiny. As Akkad's wealth begins to grow, he encounters temptations to indulge in lavish lifestyles and unnecessary expenses. However, he remembers the advice of the rich man of Babylon to always live within his means. Akkad learns to distinguish between his needs and wants, prioritizing essential expenses while cutting back on frivolous and excessive spending. By exercising discipline and controlling his expenses, Akkad maintains financial stability and continues to grow his wealth. Akkad adopts a frugal mindset, seeking value in every purchase he makes. He becomes adept at finding bargains, negotiating deals, and avoiding unnecessary expenditures. Through careful budgeting and tracking his expenses, Akkad gains a clear understanding of his financial situation. He discovers that by spending less than he earns, he can allocate a larger portion of his income towards savings and investments, accelerating his journey towards financial independence. Number 4. Seek knowledge. Akkad's thirst for knowledge becomes a central theme in the book. He understands that acquiring financial education is paramount to achieving lasting success. By continuously educating himself about money, investments, and personal finance, Akkad gains confidence and realizes that maintaining a reputation for honesty and integrity opens doors to new opportunities. Akkad learns the importance of honoring his commitments and conducting his financial dealings with transparency. He pays his debts promptly and fulfills his obligations to the best of his ability. This earns him a reputation as a trustworthy individual, and others are more willing to do business with him. As word spreads about Akkad's reliability and integrity, he finds himself presented with new opportunities for wealth creation. People are more willing to invest in his ventures, collaborate on his projects, and entrust him with their resources. Akkad understands that his reputation is an invaluable asset in the world of finance and remains committed to upholding the highest ethical standards in all his financial interactions. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, S.J.Hustling. Welcome to the section of the video where I tell you or even give you suggestions on how to implement the lessons that you learned from the book into your daily lives. Full disclosure, this is not financial advice, simply suggestions you may implement into your life if you wish to do so. The 7 laws that I'm about to discuss with you are from the book Richest Man in Babylon that talks about how to manage and even accumulate wealth. So, without further ado, let us begin. Lesson 1. Pay yourself first. The first lesson is relatively self explanatory. Keep 10% of all the money you earn. Start by setting a goal of sorts, a written amount of how much you wish to save up using this method, and start paying yourself. It can be money from your job or side hustle. No matter how small the amount may be, keep 10% of it and store it somewhere. I suggest opening a new bank account solely for the purpose of storing the money, and once it enters that account, forget about it until it reaches the amount that you set for yourself. If you know that you lack self-control, I find that it's easier to start small, and by that I mean setting your goal amount to as low as you possibly can. Once you reach that goal, start increasing the amount. Crushing your goals like this will help you build your confidence, but more importantly, it gives you a good measure of self-control. Lesson 2. Control the expenditures. The second lesson simply tells us to live frugally. This doesn't have to mean sacrificing your lifestyle, it just means finding a more efficient way of living. As it's just writing down a list of all your income and expenses. Having a visual representation of your income will make you much more conscious of your expenses. Be as detailed as possible when writing this. Then go through this list with a fine-tooth comb, then create another list, this time with your needs and wants. Fill in the items from your expenses into this new list and sort them accordingly. Once this is done, you're only left with one more thing: eradicate the wants from your life. This is going to be an extremely difficult task to complete, and trust me, you are going to create excuses as to why your wants are actually needs, and you're going to have to decide what you want more: the life you're living in the present or the life you know you deserve in the future. Lesson 3. Make thy gold multiply. The third lesson is a bit more labor intensive than all the other lessons because it involves actually making money. You can choose to look at this from two sides. One, of course, is easier when compared to the other. The easier method is looking at the list of income and expenses that you drew up earlier. Then ask yourself a simple but powerful question: how do I get paid more to do what I do? This can be through learning new skills that are in demand in your field, getting a higher paying job, freelancing as a side hustle, etc. The harder method involves doing something new and is much more time intensive because of the sheer amount of work. Things such as starting your own business, learning skills that are in demand in the online space, changing to an entirely different career path that pays more, or even moving to a new country that pays more for the work that you do, etc. The main difference between the two methods is the time it takes to achieve results. The easier method will produce results much quicker than the harder method, but the drawdown is that you might not make as much money as you could with the harder method. Something to note is a quote in the book: a man's wealth is not in the purse he carries. A fat purse quickly empties if there be no gold stream to refill it. My interpretation of that line was that passive income is the true path to financial freedom. But this is easier said than done. I felt obligated to inform you of this because I myself pursue avenues of passive income, and I'd be doing you an injustice if I didn't encourage you to pursue or at least research it as well. It really all boils down to what you want to achieve in your life and whether or not the money is worth it. Lesson 4. Guard thy treasures from loss. I begin the fourth lesson with a quote from the book: "Be not misled by thine own romantic desires to make wealth rapidly." This quote summarizes the entire lesson, with the main message being that you should not be foolish with your money. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but I shall say it to you again for good measure. There is no such thing as easy money. If it seems like a scam, then it probably is. I myself have been desperate enough to convince myself that it isn't a scam. I remember as a kid browsing through Google and being met with a pop-up telling me that I had just won the latest iPhone, and all I had to do to claim it was to enter my contact and card details. Luckily, I was too young to have a card, but the results would have been catastrophic if I did. And the funny part is that the website looks so believable with reviews and everything, which just goes to show just how far these people are willing to go. But this doesn't just stop at scammers. Be wary of your family members too, especially those that only talk to you when you have something they want. So in essence, before even investing your money anywhere, do your due diligence and research. The book also advises that you speak to people who are experts in the field that you want to get into, so that you have a good idea of what you may be up against. In closing, do not be foolish with your money. Lesson 5. Make thy dwelling a profitable investment. The fifth lesson also translates to own thy own home. I don't own any property to speak of, so take what I say here with a grain of salt. I suggest using the debt reducing strategy that is discussed in the book, which encourages the reader to use 2/10 of their earnings and dedicate this money towards paying off your debts. And rather than renting out a place to stay, find a way towards purchasing a house. In the book, it simply says that truly your own house will give you a sense of pride and joy. But I feel like it's more than that. As Robert Kiyosaki says, if your house isn't putting money in your pocket, then it's a liability. So paying it off might not make it an asset per se, but it certainly will no longer be a liability. And best of all, it becomes something that you can pass down for generations to come. It becomes a legacy. Lesson 6. Ensure in a future income. The sixth lesson speaks of making enough money for your family, or finding a sustainable way that allows them to keep making money even after you are long gone. The most logical methods to do this are either through a family business, trust funds, real estate, and etc. But what of the people who cannot afford to do either one of these? My only suggestion to you is similar to the one in the story. That is, to open a new bank account, preferably a fixed deposit that will receive that money every month for an indefinite period of time. And through the power of compound interest, that should amount to a decent chunk of change. There are many other ways to ensure future income for your family, but this method has probably the lowest barrier of entry. Lesson 7. Increase the ability to earn. Let me begin the last lesson with a question for you. Are you the best in your field? And if not, then what is stopping you from being the best? Earlier, I spoke of learning new skills to make you look more attractive to employers, or rather, to increase the value that you give to others. Because as you may or may not know, the value that you can provide is directly proportional to the amount of money you make. But learning skills online or in seminars and webinars can only take you so far. They say that a smart person learns from his or her mistakes, but a truly wise person learns from the mistakes of others. Study the people in your field. How can you climb the ladders that elevated them to success, and how can you best avoid the pitfalls that they fell into? Just ask yourself questions like these. Questions that are fueled by curiosity, questions that are fueled by the desire to be the best. But the goal isn't to be the best, the goal is to be the only. Just imagine if you were the only person in the whole world who knew how to program. How much would businesses pay you just to have you work on their project? Forget about having a salary, they wouldn't be able to afford it. You'd be the only one out of 7 billion people who can do this. But realistically speaking, it's nearly impossible to be the only one. But being close is more than enough, because it puts you leagues above the rest. You would be the cream of the crop, and the price tag that comes with it. Unrelentless learning will effectively increase your ability to earn and will put you on a path towards success that you could have never imagined. Unfortunately, this is the end of the video. Thank you for staying till the end. Some of the advice that I gave may have skewed a bit off from the main message of the lesson, but that was to make the advice easier to integrate into your day-to-day life. There are definitely some details that are omitted from the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, but I hope that this video taught you as much as possible and perhaps encouraged you to read the book, as I hope all my future videos will do. See you in the next one, and goodbye. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the richest man in Babylon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more book summaries and insightful content. Until next time, happy reading.